So once we had everything set up inside to put the sheathing on the roof, what we did was we came out here and we put a couple of nails right in the ends of these rafter boards to try and help hold it there so we could pivot it around. The plywood sheathing for the roof was 5/8 of an inch, and the other stuff was 1/2 inch, but there's something that was really different about the roof sheathing. It was super heavy. The wall sheathing wasn't that bad, but this was like a real problem to get up there. It was so heavy. So we managed to finagle it up on this part of the 12-12 roof here. And we used some subfloor glue underneath just to give it some extra strength. Anywhere we could, we pretty much used glue in this house in addition to nailing stuff down, just because it will be driving. So that went to the ends of the rafters, and so we nailed it in. And there's another little shorter strip up there that's, I don't know, 16 or 18 inches tall that goes up to the top. So then once we had this roof on, we were able to construct this cheek wall over here that connects the dormer down to the other roof. So this one, the 2x4s that frame out this wall had to sit on top of the sheathing for the front roof. So we had to construct that roof first, then the cheek wall, and then we could sheathe the dormer roof. So this actually has an extra rafter that was not up there before because of that. So the way that went was those were all kind of custom measurements, and Kevin just got up there with one of these tools. This is an angle measurer thingy. That is the technical term, angle measure thing. And you just basically, you stick this at any place that there's like a weird angle in there, like where that roof meets the other roof. You just stick this in there until it's nice and tight. And then you tighten it down and it'll give you the exact angle that you need to cut that board at. So Kevin custom made all of those pieces so that there would be something to nail the sheathing into from the outside and the inside wall material into. So you have to make sure there's a face everywhere that you need to nail into that's available to you. So constructed that cheek wall, and then he was able to sheathe it, and then the sheathing went on the 12-12 roof up here. So by the time we got to this roof, the boys got a little wiser about this and found a better way to get the sheathing up there since it's a million pounds. And what they did was just put a whole sheet on the ground, tied a rope all the way around it, chucked the rope over the house to the other side, and tied the other side to a golf cart. So then they just drove the golf cart in the other direction and pulled that sheet right up there. So that worked a lot better. So then they were able to get that sheeting up on the roof on this part, nailed it in, subfloor glue underneath, and then there was a space for the skylight that got cut out. So prior to that going on, Kevin framed out this skylight and then cut it out of the sheathing. So we are getting a skylight up there. We got a couple of comments about that in an earlier video where we talked about we weren't really sure what we were going to do. We considered an egress skylight. This is actually going to be fixed, so it's not operable at all. That's mostly because the inoperable skylights are much smaller than the operable ones, and we don't have a lot of roof, so we don't want to compromise all of that roof space and perhaps structural integrity by putting a giant skylight in there. Even though it would have been nice to have an egress, we decided against it. So there is going to be a skylight that goes in there after the roof goes on. They also sheathed these little like outrigger panels here, this like faux roof down here. So there's a little strip of sheathing that goes on here, and then on the end, so this is the back of the house, but the front of the trailer. This gets a little overhang from the 12-12 roof underneath the 312. So Kevin went ahead and put the sheathing up there for that, and these little support beams for the fascia boards. So the next step is that we're going to put the fascia boards on, which I stained the other day. It's a really cool like weathered cedar kind of color, so that'll be the same color as our siding. So we're going to nail the fascia boards on, and then we can put tar paper on the roof, and the roof goes on after that.